intentions, live with a purpose. Empower your dreams, make it happen today. No matter your age, rise and shine. Live boldly, live authentically. It's your time to rise and shine. Empower life with Cleopatra. Awaken the best version of you. Your journey starts today. You've got one life to live. Love yourself, be kind to others, break free and let your spirit soar. Empower life with Cleopatra will help you awaken the best version of you. Empower life with Cleopatra. Empower life with Cleopatra.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the show, guys. Happy Sunday, which I can't believe is the end of the month already. I cannot believe it. Where did the month go? Where did the month go? Guys, if you're here in the chat, why do I look dark, actually? I feel like I look dark today. It's in my eyes. You know, I wear glasses. But anyway, good to see you guys. If you're in the chat, let me see you're in the chat. Welcome to the show, guys. It's so good to have you guys. I can see some people are already in the chat. Tonight, we're not going to muck about at all. There's so much to talk about. And let's see. Oh, hi. Oh, Nicole, hi. Thank you for joining, Nicole. It's good to see you. Listen, it's going to be a good one, guys. Listen. All right. Where do I start? Welcome, my royals, welcome. I'm a little bit upset actually because of what I'm about to talk about tonight, right? I just don't understand what's going on. But thank you for joining. And tonight we are going to be exposing what the government calls the BritCard, right? If you know about it, put something in the chat already, if you already know about it. But tonight we are going to be exposing what it is. And basically, it's a phone-based digital ID the state wants everyone to use. They're selling it as a modern, efficient, and a fix for problems like illegal work and Windrush scandal. But the story misses the point. This is not about convenience. This is about control. All right. Before I proceed, though, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who subscribed already. You guys, honestly, you have no idea how much support that you are to me, the fact that you subscribe to the channel and you always come back like Nicole, to watch and to support. I get mails, I get text messages encouraging that this show should continue. That really gives me some boost, so thank you so much for all your support. And if you're new, please hit the subscribe button as well and subscribe. And if you have any ideas on how we can improve on this show, please send an email to empowerlifewithcleopatra@gmail.com. If you have confessions, because confessions is coming back again, it's going to come back soon. If you have any confessions to make, send an email also to the same email address, empowerlifewithcleopatra@gmail.com. If you're watching this show as a replay, please watch it to the end. That way YouTube will be able to recommend the show to other people. So what is the BritCard? Plain and simple, the BritCard will be a digital identity credential you download to your smartphone. Employers, landlords, and some public services could check it instantly with a verifier app. That's what Label Together says it will be, right? Supporters say it will be given free to everyone with the legal rights to work and live in the UK. It's been discussed at the highest levels of authority, right? Government and major think tanks are talking about this at the moment, right? So the official story is they promise 3 big benefits. According to the Financial Times, it will stop illegal working by making checks quicker and harder to fake. They also say that it would prevent another windwash by giving people a trusted way to prove rights. Labor Together also says it will save time and money. You'll have just fewer times to fill forms, faster checks for landlords and employers, and the government also. That's what Labor Together says. Okay, that sounds good, right? But the reality is darker. Right, the video I'm about to play is from Sky News, right? I'm going to play a video from Sky News. Let's take a look at this.
Breaking news now. Digital ID will be made law for all adults in an effort to tackle small boats. Downing Street believes that a mandatory ID card system will help stop illegal immigrants working. Let's bring in our political correspondent, Mari Aurora. Mari, what more do we know about this?
Yeah, well, Gareth, this is interesting because this is something that has been spoken about a lot. Tony Blair, for instance, has been talking about this for years and years as what he always believed was one of the best ways to try and reduce illegal immigration and the ability for people to work illegally here in the UK. But Sky News understands that we will have an announcement, could be as soon as tomorrow, from the Prime Minister on these mandatory ID cards, an ID card system, the BritCard. And essentially what this will mean, it will be mandatory for all adults here in the UK. It will make it easier for employers and for landlords to make sure that those they are employing or renting or to actually have the right legal immigration status here in the UK. They can do it using a smartphone app. It's also, according to the government, going to make it easier for people here in the UK to essentially prove their status or their ability to kind of qualify to be able to work here in the UK. And essentially, this is all about immigration. This is all about trying to tackle small boats crossings. We've had a lot of conversation about small boats and about other European countries, especially the French, who have been concerned with the kind of pull factors here in the UK in terms of being able to work in the black market, being able to work illegally here in the UK. We already know that France has an ID card system. They've had it for many, many years. And it's something that the UK has always resisted, partly because of questions around civil liberties and freedoms, but also because many governments in previous times said that they didn't think it was the best approach. Now, clearly, Keir Starmer has been persuaded of the benefits of a digital ID card system and has been persuaded that this might have a significant impact on small boats crossings. The question really, and this is always going to be the million-dollar question, is once this comes into play and once it is enforced, how much of an impact could it have on small boats crossings? And if it has a really significant impact on small boats crossings, then it really kind of starts to eradicate that pull factor for illegal migrants coming to the UK, because I think they can essentially make money on the side illegally, as opposed to somewhere like that in France. How much of an impact does that have? And if it doesn't have a huge impact, then of course there'll be sighs of disappointment, I think, from within the Labour Party.
Right. So that's what they say, right? Now let's call it what it really is. Okay? The BritCard is not about making your life easier. It's about making you easier to track, control, and punish if you step out of line. They wrap it up in this slick PR language about streamlining services, enhancing security, and preventing windrush. And they even claim that it will stop people arriving by small boats. That last claim is simply not true. Experts and critics say that digital ID will not stop crossings across the channel. Migration laws is driven by laws, not and economics and geographics, not whether somebody gets on a small boat or whatever. It doesn't make any difference. It does not matter. This is not about proving who you are online. This is about building a centralized, state-controlled digital identity system that can and very likely will be linked to other parts of your life. Your bank records, your medical history, travel and border checks, and even records of your activity online and in public life. That's not speculation, guys. Global experience and the UK laws changes show it's possible, and in some cases, it's likely going to happen. Once in place, it becomes like a powerful tool that the government will use to enforce certain things as time goes on. We all know what happened during the COVID, right? Okay. In real life, to be honest with you, this is going to be like a digital dog tag. Once it's clipped around your life, you won't easily be able to take it off. And that's, if you go to the Big Brother Watch.org, there's a site called bigbrotherwatch.org.uk. They will tell you more about what this digital ID is about. All right. Now, why should you be afraid? Why should you be concerned? The governments are already building the tool as we speak, right? The UK is actively enabling digital identity services right now. If you go to the gov.org, you see everything yourself, government.uk. And considering universal digital ID proposals is definitely what is going on at the moment, creates a technical backbone for the BritCard to happen. They already started building things back, in the back, what do they call them? In the back office. Things are already happening as we speak. The law is changing to allow broader data use, right? The Data Use and Access Act, which is the DUAA, creates legal routes for wider sharing and use of personal data. The very legal foundation that would let identity systems be linked to many services. That's just what it is. So it's not just a technical change, it's a legal change that matters for power and for control. There's a website called Anod & Porter. Go to that website, you would see that as well. Now, civil liberty groups warn of what they call mission creep and surveillance. So groups such as, like I said earlier, Big Brother Watch and Privacy International says that digital ID systems is a big risk because it risks becoming a checkpoint, right? Where you have a society where more and more activities require showing ID, and where data collected from one purpose is used for other purposes, right? So we have real world examples, for example, and these real world examples show the harm when systems go wrong. For example, in India, they had this Aadhaar or something like that. It was a huge biometric ID project that was linked to people being denied food, pensions, or healthcare when the authentication fails, because these things can go wrong. Not everybody has access to the internet, first of all, and sometimes this authentication fails. I know that, for instance, at the moment, there's one website that I'm supposed to go and verify as a professional IT consultant, and because my passport is actually an older version of the passport, I can't even verify myself. They want me to have a new passport that has the what's it called, the digital tag, so that they can verify me. Now, this digital BritCard is going to even be higher than that, because they will talk about your medical records. You have everything about you, really, it's in one place, right? Now, if authentication fails, what happens? Then you get denied a lot of access, right? Even healthcare, you will not be able to access healthcare and some other things. Now, Human Rights Watch and Amnesty warned that this would happen. So this is not a hypothetical thing. Systems that link identities to services have caused real exclusions in the past, right? Even the most advanced system have failed dangerously. In Estonia, for instance, the EID was seen as a global model until a cryptographic flaw affected hundreds and thousands of cards, forcing costly fixes. So if Estonia, that is one of those it's a very tech savvy country, right? If Estonia can face this, any country can. So that's a security risk for BritCard at a scale, all right? And even the European digital rights actually have aired this. They've stated this risk. And if we go ahead, this is what is likely to happen. Now, how will this linking work? And why does it matter to you? So digital ID platforms are valuable precisely because they can be connected, right? So it will connect to banks, which will make it easier, for identity checks, but also it'll be easier for blocking and freezing of your accounts if it's flagged, right? It will connect to your healthcare system, like I said, your health systems for faster access. But a medical record tied to identity is sensitive and could be used in ways people did not expect. Okay. It will connect to broader and, this border and travel data. So if you're traveling, for instance, right, it will connect to that. So governments already link immigration records to travel, right? They link, we already know that. But an ID will make cross-checking simpler, right? But if it connects to private databases and verification services that will be used by landlords, for instance, and employers and insurance, right? So once a private company gain reliable access, the system becomes essential for getting a job and a home or loan. It's like everything. You really cannot do much without it. Really, it's like I said, it's all about control, right? So privacy groups warn that this linking is not hypothetical. It is the whole point of building the infrastructure in the first place. These links are where convenience become control, right? This is what Privacy International, if you go to that website called Privacy International, you will have this information there as well. But I'm not the one who says, this. I'm not the one who thinks this is the situation, right? Let's listen to GB News and also to Russell Brand. So we'll play the GB News first. Hear what they have to say.
Now let's call it what it really is. The BritCard is not about making your life easier. It's about making you easier to track, control, and punish if you step out of line across whatever line of the day is deemed important. They've wrapped it up in slick PR language about streamlining services and enhancing security and making sure that the Windrush scandal never happens again, because people who are allowed to live here will have the proof that they do so. They're also telling you all through the press that this will stop people coming over here on small boats. That is patently untrue. It isn't just about proving who you are online. That all sounds rather lovely. This is about building a centralized, state-controlled digital identity system that could be used, will be used, to link your finances, your medical history, your travel movements, your social media activity, even your social activity in real life, and more. It's quite frankly a digital dog tag, and once it's clipped around your neck, you will not be able to take it off.
Right. So
Tell you
that's
what digital ID is about. Digital ID is about maximal surveillance and maximal control. They will never tell you, we're going to control you. They will always tell you, we're going to protect you. In order to legitimize their measures of protection, they will have to continually institute crisis. That's what many people believe the pandemic was. That's what the perpetual forever wars are all about. That's how climate change will be deployed. And that's why our culture will continue to generate division to ensure that there is no organised and collegiate movement against centralised authority. Every time you think there's a bit of momentum garnering, there'll be a crisis in the Middle East that will divide people, or there'll be a crisis in domestic politics. Their function is to ensure division.
right. Okay. Guys, so I'm not the only one that thinks this. Let me take your comments in the chat, actually. Thank you all so much for all your comments. Maureen, thank you so much for joining. Edmond, thank you so much for joining. Mike, thank you for joining. Now, Mike says, the ID card system is merely a way to pull everyone's data onto a single source. Unfortunately, it will be handed off to the private sector, e.g., Palantir, for monetization. Yep. I have no particular opposition to ID cards, but the nature of its use is the issue. And what the guardrails around its misuse by authorities are questionable. Absolutely. Edmund says, thank you so much for your comments, Mike. And then Edmund says, we have seen recently cyber attacks on large organizations. And this also opens up your details. So the dark web, 100%. Mike says the passport biometric chip actually has limited data other than your photo, name, date of birth, etc. Validating your passport via a reader uses a checksum to confirm the passport was issued by a named country, etc. Hi, Alan. Thank you so much for joining. Now, all your points are valid. I mean, a lot of us don't have a problem with this digital ID card. I don't have a problem with it, except, like you said, Mike, what other things that they're not telling you about? And they use this spin about, windrush and convenience that they're saying, right? So that's the thing. So somebody might ask the question, wouldn't they say you can opt out? Wouldn't there be an opt-out opportunity? They would likely say that, but officials say that there are alternatives. They would say that, but we know that in practice, though, what the word when they say voluntary becomes de facto mandatory. So that, for example, when banks, landlords, and employers prefer the BritCard, they want that BritCard verification where without, you having it, you won't be able to have access, and you will always face this constant hassle. They will want that because they feel that tells them everything they need to know about you. And civil liberties organization call this a major risk of exclusion as well, because when people will now say, sorry, I'm not going to have this, they will be excluded, like what happened with the pandemic as well. They will be excluded. And history from other countries also proves this what we're talking about now. If you go to the Independent, it says exactly this, right? Now, what do you need to demand? Now, these are the non-negotiables before any rollout. What should we as UK citizens, what should we demand? If we care about freedom and fairness, we should make these demands loud and in public. First of all, actually, before I say what I think you should, what would you demand? My royals, what would you demand? Put it in the chat before this is rolled out, because there's nothing we can do about it. It's going to happen. It's happening as we speak. There's nothing we can do about it. What would you like the government to take into consideration before they carry on? Because they're going to do it with or without your permission. It's done. It's as good as done, right? Hi, Solomon. Thank you so much for joining. You said, yes, I agree that it's always going to be misused. It is not necessary because we already have the NI. We have the NI. We have other forms of identification. If you got our driving license, if you got our passports, there are other things that they can identify us with. But no, they still want the BritCard. I wonder why. Right. So put it in the chat what you think really we should demand before this is rolled out, right? For me, personally, I think there should be clear parliamentary limits in the law. What the BritCard can and cannot be used for must be written into the statutes. There's no silent expansion, right? Right, there should be independent oversight and human rights checks. There should be strong independent watchdog with power to stop any misuse and to publish reports. This has also been recommended by bigbrotherwatch.org.uk, right? Now, real alternatives for those without phones, because it's not, like I said, not everybody has a phone. Not everybody has the ability to go online. Not everybody is tech savvy. So there should be a choice. So you should have a choice, whether it's paper or in-person options. There should be, it should be allowed. They should be legally equal to the digital card, whether it's in paper or, in person. If you turn up in person, you have other forms of identification with you. It should be legal. It should be okay, as opposed to saying you must have that card. And the Human Rights Watch also say that this is what should actually happen. They shouldn't just force you into having that card, and without that card, you'll be excluded. That's not right. That's going against your fundamental human rights, actually. Now, also, there should be transparent cost benefits and impact assessments. So publish the full numbers. That is, what is the full numbers of people that that have that have this card, that you're going to, that have accessed this card or have started using it, right? What are the risk assessments, right? What are the if you're going to exclude people or whatever, in what ways are you going to exclude them? If it is compulsory that you have to exclude people, model it. How are you going to exclude them? Why would you want to exclude them? What are the criteria that they have to meet? Put it there so that if people see it, they can either agree or disagree. Right? Right. Let me see what you are saying. What are you guys saying? Oh, Tessa. Hi, Tessa. Thanks for joining so much. Thank you. How are you? It's been a while indeed. Yes. Solomon says it should be scrapped because the NR is already there. Nicole says, what will be the GDPR implications of this? They would need to be clear. Absolutely. That will be the question. One major question. What would be the exactly? Right? Mike says, like Singapore, the national ID should be run by the government and no data access granted to third parties other than mere verification. You are who you say you are. Case closed. Exactly. Exactly. But that's not what they're going to do. They want landlords to be able to have access to it, your health services, your employers. Where is the data protection, like Nicole is saying? Where's the data protection then? If they're doing this, where is your privacy? There's no privacy anymore. It's ridiculous. And Mike says, as a national security item, GDPR may likely not be required. But that's, it's just not right. It's not, no, so you don't have any privacy at all. The scary thing is that people will be excluded. What about our grandmothers who are not tech savvy? Well, they have to go somewhere and do a thumbprint. A lot of them are not even online in the first place. A lot of them are used to carrying their passbook to the post office to go get their pension or get it paid into their account or whatever. But what about people who are not educated, who don't even have phones, or if they have phones, they're not digitally savvy because they just have the little old model phones? Like, there's so many things you have to talk about. Hello, Audrey. Thanks for joining. Yeah, Audrey agrees. Thank you. Thank you for agreeing. And Solomon says, for those with religious backgrounds, will understand that this is the beginning of the biblical 666 book of Revelation. Yes, because there it says you have to have this mark of the beast. Without it, you cannot buy, you cannot sell. Right? You'll be excluded. And this is what this BritCard is threatening to do. Exclude you because you cannot do a lot if you don't have this card. So that's why we need to demand certain things. If they're saying that's not the case, they don't want, it's not about exclusion, it's about trying to prevent people coming into whatever in small boats, into the UK in small boats. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard anyway. But if they're saying that's what it is, spell out exactly, let it be written in law exactly what you intend to do. All right. Audrey says, Rothschild planned all this in 1800, one world government. You're welcome, hon. I know. Audrey, listen. You could not even be more correct. Exactly. This has always been, everything that's happening now has already been agreed, signed, sealed, delivered from the very get-go. Right? From the very get-go. It's about like the show I did some weeks ago about Bill Gates, who made Bill Gates the general overseer of the world. It's the same thing. Him, his fathers, the Rothschilds and everybody else, their clique, they've already decided that this world, there's too many people. And, from where their own fathers stopped, they are carrying on, trying to depopulate the world. It's the same thing about this as well. All about control. Mike says, isn't the mark of the beast supposed to be on one's forehead? It doesn't necessarily have to be on one's forehead nowadays. People can put it in form of a chip if you want to on your. So I know there's some people who've actually put this digital tag in some parts of America on their wrists some on their heads, some parts of their bodies or whatever, so that they just go through, or they just put their hand on something like that, and everything is shown. They don't need to do anything else. There are people who already are doing that as we speak, right? Audrey says, every country have the same system. Be no need, um, move anywhere, everywhere be same. Deep state aristocrats, rich elites. I know everything you're saying, Audrey. I agree with you. Mike, it doesn't have to necessarily be on your forehead. It can be anywhere. The main thing is that it's going to be enforced. It's going to be enforced. They know that people already can see it coming. They insist it's going to be on your forehead. So they might not necessarily insist it's on the forehead. It can be anywhere else. And it's not just going to be in the UK. This is going to be something that probably other nations will adopt. So, like Solomon said, the mark of the beast is on its way. And Solomon says, it is the beginning of the control. If the government sees you as a rebellious person, you cannot function in the society. We are all better start thinking of relocating to Africa and the Caribbean. Solomon, seriously though, I see you. I see you. I see you. This is it. It's going to happen. Audrey says numerology, all numbers are angel numbers, messages from angels. You can research them up on YouTube. The spiritual meaning numbers and meaning of numbers and animals. Okay. I mean, what is the number 666 then, Audrey? What does that mean? I know 6 is the number of man. Even in the Bible, we know that the spiritual number 6 is the number of man. Number 7 is the number of perfection. Number 8 is the number of new beginning. Number 3 is the number of Trinity, or 3 in 1, Trinity, or something like that. Every number has, I think number 5 is the number for grace, something like that. So I understand what you're talking about, Audrey, about numbers have some spiritual meanings to them as well. I totally understand. And Audrey also says the elites use symbols, not numbers. Yeah. I mean, guys, this is something that is crazy. It's really crazy. Now, someone, for instance, if you refused, and or maybe you don't have the card and you denied a job, or say maybe, for instance, you have this card but it didn't check through because of one technical glitch or whatever, and they were going to give you a job, but because your card didn't check out, then you can't get the job anymore, or housing, for instance, or healthcare or whatever, you don't have access because there's a problem with the card, or because you don't have the card. These are all things that are going to be a major problem for the society. We have enough problems already in this country, and we don't need this, to be honest with you. Audrey says 6 path is an empath. Jesus died at 33, which is 6. Well, it died for mankind. Number 6 is man, and 33. Okay, yeah. So, guys, this is what we're faced with, right? They've covered it as one thing or the other about, we are trying to prevent the Windrush problem that we had before, or we are trying to make it easier for people to be able to have access, for you to be able to get a house if you want, or get a loan, because banks will be able to easily know who you are. But those are third parties. That's not the government. If it was just like Mike said earlier, if it was just for the government alone to have you, and then so that they can okay, say, all right, fine, this is just so that we know you, we know that, all right, we have at least information about you, we know the amount of people we have in this country, whatever, it's fine. But this is going to be open to everybody. Your medical records that are supposed to be personal, will not be personal anymore. Okay. So it's ridiculous. I mean, they call it modernization, right? They call it modernization. But we call it choice. It's a choice. We build a system that helps people. That's what it should be. A system that makes people easier to watch and control. That's what they want you to do. They say it's a system where they make life easier for you, but no, it's a system that will make them track you easier, make them control you easier. See, the BritCard could be the most powerful tool of state oversight. Like, listen, there is a problem, guys. There is a problem. I think there's so many things that we can do to stop this from carrying on. There's so many things. I'm going to make a few suggestions, right? Right. This problem is going to be terrible if we don't, for instance, speak to our MPs, right? If you talk to your MP, that's why they're there. That's what they're there for. If a lot of people go to their MPs and complain about this and say, listen, this is the problem that we have, this is what the government wants to do. We want you to put it to the government to have a full parliamentary debate. Yeah. An independent inquiry, that is legally binding to safeguard, the people, like, put it out there for the public to decide whether we want this or not. Not that they just turn around and say, well, this is what we want that's going to happen, without giving us a chance to say whether we want it or not. If we can go to our MPs and say, well, this is the problem. This is as far as we're concerned, this is violating our fundamental human rights, because they are not, they write it in the law, then to say that, right, it will just be for us. We're not going to share it with third parties. We're not going to share it with landlords. We're not going to share it with, your employers. We're not going to share it with banks. It's just strictly for the government. Put it in the law so that there's no misuse. But if they cannot do that, then we have a problem. Then there is something more sinister to this, right? Audrey, you're talking about angels and numbers. I don't agree with people using numbers from the Bible, making numbers negative. There's nothing negative about numbers in the Bible. There's nothing negative in the Bible in the first place. The elites use the ram Aries and Saturn, the planet, for dark magic. Okay. Big Brother watching you. Google George Orwell 1984 book. Yeah, I think it was also George Orwell that wrote the Animal Farm or something like that as well. Yeah. I hear you. So, guys, this is what I just wanted to share with you, that when they come and spin this thing about, okay, it's for preventing people to, if who are coming in the small boats and all that, and it's for to make things easier for you. It will prevent another wind rush. Oh, it will make it easier for you you fill fewer forms. It will be faster for landlords to check you, and employers and the government to be able to. Those are just what they want to spin to get you to see where they're, what they're saying. But that's not really that's not the truth. That's not exactly what it is. Okay. It's not about that. So let me know what your thoughts are. Yeah. Because we know that they want to control everything. So let me know what your thoughts are about it. We're going to keep it really, really short tonight. It was just an expose. It wasn't meant to be too long. We're just about 40 minutes into the show. We're going to close early today. But if you have any other comments, please put it in the chats. Guys, all I can say in closing is this, right? We live here. And for those of you who do not live in the UK, do not think that, just because you don't live in the UK, it doesn't affect you. If you're watching this, later on replay, whatever happens in the United Kingdom affects the world, just the same way whatever happens in America or Canada or China or places like that. it still has this roller effect. All right. It will still affect other parts of the world one way or another. So, if you have to join and support those in the UK to say, listen, let our MPs, let's send, go back to your MP, your member of parliament, and ask them to take this back to have a debate and ask everybody, vote, should we have a BritCard or not? I guess it's a bit too late now because they've already decided on what they want to do. But it's a shame that we live in a society now where they just impose these sort of things without even asking us whether this is right or wrong. Fidelis, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. Fidelis says, this is a great discourse as world leaders are planning on controlling the world through unified identity and tax systems. 100%. Yeah. This is the one world government that we talked about earlier. Exactly. It's the one world government, right? Mr. Solomon says, I'm already thinking of relocating in the next future as I would not like to live in a society where I am being monitored 24/7. Or if I am critical of the government, then they would, you know, my bank account, they would link my bank account and things like that. Yeah. Audrey says, yes, everything connected in the world, everything is connected in the world. Absolutely. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if this is right at all. And for those of you who want to relocate back to your various countries, I see you. I see you. It's sad that it has come to this. I think there should be more serious problems that the government should be worried about. Problems like, okay, how are we going to, make the health service run better? How are we going to get people off the streets? How are we going to create more employment for people who come out? How are we going to restructure the housing, the buying of properties where people now who have graduated or who even have jobs are not able to even buy their first home because they can't afford it because prices have gone through the roof? These are things that the government should be talking about at the moment, not about a BritCard. Like we don't have other identities already. We've been existing, surviving, living well without this BritCard. So I really don't see the point, if you ask me. I really do not see the point. But hey ho, they've decided that that's what they want to do. But we know what the truth is now. We know it's about control, right? We know it's about control. So guys, thank you so much for joining. It's been really, really good. I hope you've taken one or two things away from me. And thank you all for your contributions, Nicole, Maureen, Mike, Edmund, Alan, Solomon, Tessie, Audrey, everybody who has contributed. Thank you so much. Fidelis, thank you. Everybody that's contributed. Thank you so much for your contribution. I really appreciate you guys. Guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Oh, Tessie says we just have these few individuals taking control of us. We need to stand up for ourselves. We keep accepting their stupidity of policies. Yeah, but because that's what, because we don't see anything. The British people are known for their stiff upper lip, right? They just take everything, they don't say anything, they just take it. And if we don't stand up for ourselves, then they think it's okay to carry on because they know that we will never fight. We'll just take whatever they just throw at us. Mike says blocking accounts or making things difficult can all be done now. Yes, they can all be done now, which is true. But the BritCard is even way, way worse in terms of, what they would do. Because we're talking your medical stuff as well now. Medical stuff. We're talking access. We're talking it might even get to a point where they would insist, even though they say you might have a choice of not taking it, which I think will not be the case. Where they might even restrict you from going to the shops to buy, milk. Right? Mr. Solomon says it is like the VBN. Is it VBN or B? That's called BVN, Solomon. BVN that Nigeria has today. where people have had their accounts blocked, those who do not support government policies. So there needs to be check and balance, as you have said. Absolutely. But oh, by the way, Mr. Solomon, they are the Nigerian government now are introducing yet another card. So it's not just the BVN now or the NIN. There's yet another card that they're about to introduce. I don't understand what's with all these cards. I really don't get it. I really don't get it. You know, exactly. Tessie says we can hardly see our GPs now. Are you telling me I want to see my doctor, right? And I have to wait for like 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks to see the doctor. 6 to 8 weeks. And then they'll now say, oh, all right, fine. Since you can't wait that long, I'm going to put you through this. They have this hub. Yeah. A hub where you have, you can call the GP or whatever. And then you talk to this GP and half of them don't even know what they're talking about. And I said to them, my record is there right in front of you. You should at least, since they put you through to me, they would have connected me to you. You can see my records, and they'll be asking you the most ridiculous questions, and you're thinking, are you really a doctor? Okay, so it's crazy. It's really crazy. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. Those of you who want to leave, just put it in the chat if you want to leave. Put it in the chat that you're leaving. Guys, I'm going to say thank you very much for joining the show tonight. Thank you so much for your support. If you haven't subscribed already, please do well to just click on the subscribe button. It's free, guys. You don't have to pay anything for it. But I need your support. Like I said last week, YouTube actually sent me a message and asked me to up my subscribers because they think I'm not doing anything about it. They've asked me to please increase my subscribers because it hasn't really moved very much. They want me to they give me a goal to get to 1,000. This goal was given to me a while ago. So maybe because I still haven't met it, they're just trying to stress me, guys. So guys, all I can ask you to do for me is please, when you get these links, share it with other people and encourage them to also subscribe and share. That way I can meet my mark and get these people to get off my back. Yeah. Mike says BVN was necessary due to the level of banking fraud. Nigeria has specific problems. True. And Tessie says we just need to go back home and make our country, I guess, better. Nicole says great discussion. Thank you so much. You all made it great, right? You all made it great. Every single one of you who contributed. This is why I just love my royals, guys. You guys, you never let me down. Every single time we come on this show, I feed off from your energy. I feed off from everything you put in the chat and everything you do. It's a give and take. And that's why this show is your show, not my show, it's our show. Yeah, we run the show together. You're all my co-hosts. So thank you once again for joining, guys. Until next week, guys. This has been Empower Life with Cleopatra. Remember, guys, stay bold, stay kind, stay woke, and above all, remain empowered. All right. See you guys next week. I love you guys. Take care. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.
Empower life with Cleopatra. Awaken the best version of you. Unlock your true potential. Empower your mind, body, and soul. Live with intentions, live with a purpose. Empower your dreams, make it happen today. No matter your age, rise and shine. Live boldly, live authentically. It's your time to rise and shine. Empower life with Cleopatra. Awaken the best version of you. Your journey starts today. You've got one life to live. Love yourself, be kind to others, break free and let your spirit soar. Empower Life with Cleopatra will help you awaken the best version of you.